Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today we are here talking about my October planner lineup. So I love to record these videos every single month. It is where I talk about what I want to do for the upcoming month. And so October is going into spooky season. So I've got a lot of things happening here. I wanted to show you all of the planners that I plan to touch in October. I don't know how well I will be able to be in them consistently, but this is my goal. It's a giant stack. So let me turn it so that way you can kind of see it. So I've got so many planners here, you guys. So I've got this stack right here. So there are four. And then let's see if I can do this. I've got several right here as well. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 planners to kind of walk through today. I don't show in my lineup videos my two memory books for my girls. So I do have those two as well. They just don't go into my functional planner lineup. So we're going to go ahead and kind of put everything to the side and jump right into it. Okay, so the first two planners I'm going to talk about are my personal catch-all planner. I will say that in September, I actually did not do a great job of being in these planners. There's just something about having so many planners that I just start losing track of where I am. I need to recommit because October goes into a very busy season for me and I need to use them more consistently. And so I've got two planners here for my catch-all. One is my weekly planner, and then the other is my daily planner. So we're going to start here and show you October. Now, for this big planner, it is a big vertical planner that is outdated. So you can see here, this is from 2023. And so it is outdated and I only use the weekly pages. What I decided to do was just redate it for 2025. This was originally going to be my work planner, but I had made a shift in like August for a lot of my planners, and this is one of the ones that got moved to a different location. So now this is my personal planner. It is already redated. I actually found some dates that matched up, but it is for October. And what I do with these pages is just put major events. What I did in September, which worked out really well, and I'm going to continue doing it, is I did this week being like, just as an example, this is the 27th through the 2nd of November. Here, I would put the week of the 27th through the 2nd. This I would have it for the next week. So it'd be November 3rd through the 9th. And then this would be November 4th through the 16th. So it gives me 3 weeks at a single glance. And that worked out really well for personal planning, just because I'm able to track the current week as well as upcoming weeks and, just kind of see where my time goes. So that was really working out. I'm going to continue doing the same thing in October. So that is my weekly planner for my catch-all. And I use it, like I said, just to track the major events. Now here I have my daily planner, and I do have October in here. So October is just kind of set up here as a daily. It's a daily on one page, as you can see. They are outdated pages. So you can see this is like February 2021. What I ended up doing was just finding the number, right? I just need an October 5th and I need an October 6th. So I'm just using just the number. I'm not worried about anything else about it. And it has a daily schedule from 6 to 7 or 8 o'clock. And so I just track in here by 30-minute intervals the big major events that come from my weekly, and I do it by time. I also add around those big events any of the tasks that I do, and I just want to log it. So like, for example, if I record YouTube videos at 8:30, I'm just going to put YouTube videos, and so on and so forth. Of course, it has a task list. There's a top priorities, which I consider to be my top tasks. And then there's a notes section, which I generally use to just make note of like any physical health symptoms or like just a quick check-in about my mood. And so I have those pages. Again, they are outdated, so I just kind of like put them in here for use for October. And so I've got it for all 31 days of October. So that is my catch-all system. Again, the weekly, like the 3 weeks on one page, and the daily that I use for the more minute details. Okay, let's switch to work. So this is the other, I think, main planner that I use. I like to separate personal from work. And so this is my work-related tasks. Now, one big thing that I guess will make a note of here is that in my personal catch-all planner, I do generally put work. I just don't get into the nitty gritty of like the types of meetings or like the actual tasks that I do for work, all of that goes in here. And so this is a Live Well planner. Let me show that to you. All right, so it's Live Well. It was a 2025 planner. It is a 2025 planner. It's daily and monthly. And I have not, I tried to use the monthly, or I at least said I would use the monthly, but I did not use the monthly. And so this essentially breaks down into a daily page. And so again, like I don't use the monthly. And so what I use this for is, again, very similarly to my personal catch-all, I am breaking down everything here for work, and it's only work. So I have all of my work meetings in this section. What I have been doing is, I know it's kind of really hard to see, but underneath there's like this kind of faint line that comes from, it comes from this, right? So it's just on the other side, there's this faint line. And so I use that to separate it into 3 columns. And so this first column is where I mark my meetings and events. I've already started doing that, as you can see. And then this one is a running log of the tasks that I have completed, right? And then here, tasks that I need to do. And then this I usually use for priorities. And so it is pretty much, that's just how it's set up. I try not to work on the weekends, so this is just a Monday through Friday. It does have Saturday and Sunday, as you can see here, as like a combined day, but I try not to work Saturdays and Sundays. And so I've gone through, as you can see here, and just marked all of my meetings. I need to go in and write in pen all of my meetings, and all the stuff that's been scheduled since then. I tend to be in meetings a lot, and lots of meetings pop up like right at like some overlap, and there are lots of meetings in my life. So I will go in and add all of those meetings, and then day by day I just open it to the correct day and start taking notes of the things I've completed that day and things that I still need to do. So that's been working out really well for me. I do, of course, with work have all of the digital tools that I use, so I have digital calendar and things like that, but having it on paper really works for me. It helps me to write it out, and so I'm going to continue doing that. This planner is through 2025, but I think once January rolls around, I'm going to just redate it and use it for the purposes of work, just like I've been doing for the end of 2025. So that is my work planner. Okay, what we're going to do now is get into some of my specialty planners. This is an example of one of the specialty planners. Just like I mentioned with my work planner, most of the times for my catch-all, I will make notes of like work and go into my work planner and make more detailed notes. Same kind of concept here. This is my food log. And so I will, for food logging, just write in my catch-all like lunch or breakfast. But here I will actually break down what I had for breakfast, what I had for lunch. And so it is currently a big teacher layout. Let me flip to October. So it's a big teacher layout, and it's just random outdated pages. And so what I do is I've already redated it. I know it's kind of hard to see these numbers, but it is redated. I haven't bothered covering this up, but I essentially just log chronologically what I eat every day. So like this would be breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, dinner, generally. And I just go like that for the entire month. And that's actually been working out well. I like the extra space for logging my food. I don't tend to fill it out all the way. You'll see this if you watch my flip through videos of where it tends to kind of be bare, but I'm totally fine with that. I really just want to know health wise what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, and how that's affecting me. I'm noticing lots of GI issues, and so I track those things in here, and I think they're triggered by food, so I'm trying to track it so that way I can get some good data for myself. So that is my food log. Again, in my catch-all, I will put breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner. Here, I actually write out what those meals or snacks were. Okay, my next specialty planner, and this is, the specialty planners are kind of like in random order. This one is my leadership personal growth planner. I actually just recently set this up on video, so if you want to watch that, please let me know. I'll link the previous video where I set this up for you. But this is where I am using dashboard layout pages. This is actually a current planner. So I did purchase this planner on clearance and decided to go ahead and incorporate it into my lineup. So it is a current planner. It is a dashboard layout. And what I do is basically just make it cute. I use Sweet Quiet Design stickers to make it cute. I might not do it with these pages just because it is current. I don't really need to cover it up and put the same date on it. So I might change up what I'm doing for October. But this is essentially a dashboard layout. I put all of my volunteer or leadership events just like you kind of would with a dashboard. And then here I just take notes for maybe some of the tasks that I have for that week or that month. And so it's essentially a dashboard layout that I use pretty functionally for tracking the things that I do, leadership or volunteer wise. I'm in several committees, organizations, and so tracking all of those things in one place, I think that's really helpful. So that is my personal growth / leadership planner. Okay, again, in random order, no particular order here. This next one is another specialty planner. This one is my family and friends planner. So in this planner, I just track major events for my extended family. So my nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, the in-laws, all of those family members where I might not directly be doing something with them, but they gave me an announcement or announced something in the family. I just want to put those things in here. I also like to log on occasionally to Facebook and check out my Facebook feed for my friends and just make note of any big announcements there. So like birthdays, baby announcements, wedding announcements, those type of things, I like to document in here. So what I am using, and this one I actually did set up again in a previous video, I decided to go ahead and use the current portion of a Lake plus Loft planner. And so it has like this monthly goals. This is the very first month I'm using it. So we're going to see how this works out, but it has the monthly goals, a monthly budget. It has the monthly spread, and then it has the weekly. And so I've already started putting in plans, as you can see here. I'm going to finish out the rest of the month putting in all the plans. But some of the things I note, as you can see here, these are sports events for my nieces and nephews. I'll continue doing that. There's right here a thanks portion where I can just acknowledge someone who made an impact in my week, like family or friend. And then weekly wins, again, trying to keep it focused on family and friends. What are some of the weekly wins that maybe an extended family member got? Something like that. So I'll put that there. I don't think I'm going to use this to-do list for anything, but it could be where I need to watch for an upcoming birthday or buy a gift or something like that. So I'll use that section maybe for some of those things. And so this is my first month using this. I'll definitely check in November for how the first month in this new planner worked out for me. But the way that I was kind of doing it before was like a creative journal where I was using basically stickering it up and just writing notes in kind of a vertical layout. In fact, I can show you what that looks like. So it's like this. I just decorated this page I didn't use, but I would just write notes for different things. So I would do the same thing. So I don't imagine that it would be too different from that. It's just a different layout for me. So we'll check in for this one in particular. But this is a new planner and a new layout for me for my family planner. I'm excited about that. Okay, it's been a while since I've actually put or included my faith journal in my monthly lineup. It's time to put it back in here. I consider it part of my general rating of things down on paper, and so I'm going to include it. So this is what I am using for the remainder of 2025. It is a coloring book, Inspired Genesis, as you can see here. What I've been doing is just kind of putting all of my notes in here. And just coloring and doing all of the different things. I have not been good about doing it during the week, so this tends to be kind of like a Sunday project or process where we are going through in church through Genesis, and so I find the corresponding page for that and just sit, listen, take notes from the sermon, but also color. My kids color in here. If there's something from Sunday school, I try to find a Genesis verse or section that relates to that and try to take notes related to that. During the week, I do listen to the Bible app, and I am trying to catch up with where I am now. I'm about 20 days behind. So I'm doing 2 days per day until I catch up again. So in October, I should be caught up. And what I want to do in October is try to get to the point where I'm also in here, again, trying to correlate what I'm hearing in those Bible verses that I'm listening to on the Bible app to something in Genesis. And that's really just to make that connection, the whole Bible connection. So I, again, just color, take notes, and do all of those fun things in here. And it's set up to kind of be a coloring book. So I love that. So this is definitely something that I'm keeping in October, hopefully moving it into more of a daily habit rather than just a Sunday only habit. So that is my faith planner / faith journal / faith coloring book. Okay, just a few more, you guys. This one is my social media planner. It is a cute little 4x6 Bloom daily planner that I got from Go Wild 2024. So it's definitely old at this point. It's definitely outdated. So you can see here is a 2024 planner that's outdated. And what I've been doing is just kind of using it to take notes of my social media plans. So YouTube videos, when I record videos, when I upload videos, Instagram posts, things like that. And so I do definitely need to go in here and redate it for October. And I'm just going to try to use the weekly pages until they run out. So that's my goal. And again, I just track social media related things, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook sometimes even. I also like to write in here any major announcements from like planner businesses. So anything from the Happy Planner, I try to write in here. Small businesses like Hell of a Plan, Live of Posh, I try to write those notes in here just to have like a record of like what's happening in the planner community. So that's my cute little book. I'm excited about using this still because I'm getting very close to finishing it. It might last me until 2026, but it will be pretty much the beginning of 2026. I think it's going to be pretty much done. So I have to come up with a decision for what I do for social media. But until then, I'm going to use out this book for social media planning. Next to last one is my expense tracker. I use this to basically log all of my purchases. So I have it's essentially a horizontal that's 3x4 in size, so about like the micro size, and I'm just going to continue using it. I have been, I would say, the most consistent in this book. This is the one that is the most consistent use for 2025. I love it. I am going to do the same thing in 2026. So love it. Absolutely love it. So I just decorate, make it cute, and then just log all of my purchases. I need to go in and log my purchases for September. I haven't done that yet, but definitely I'm going to continue October, November, December, especially with like purchasing for the holidays. I want to make sure that I have a good record of that. And I use for especially getting into the holiday season, I purchase a lot of things online. So I need to have a spot, and I usually put it right here for the things that I'm still waiting to be mailed to me. So once I receive it, that's kind of where I track it, is like the order tracker section. So starting in October, you'll kind of see that pop up as well. But this is my cute little expense tracker. Love this thing. Okay, last one. I actually just set this up. This is yesterday's video where I set up the beginning pages of my holiday planner for Halloween. So this is my Halloween planner. It is on a deluxe cover. It's like super cute. I also do have recent flip through of this holiday planner, so I will link those videos if you are interested. So just leave me a comment so that way I'll know that you want this video in particular, and I'll give you the link for that video. This is set up right now with a very simple calendar, and so I need to get in here and just kind of like have fun with it. But this very first tab right here, which I have not labeled, but it should be calendar, I have already pulled from a clearance planner the pages for October 2025 as well as October 2026. And one thing that I am going to do right now, I need to be able to mark this page. So I just pulled a random just paper clip that I've got in my stash, and I'm going to mark this page. I'm actually going to mark the page. The divider was a little bit thick. All right, so I'm going to mark this page. This clip is super tight. It's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to mark this page so that way I can flip right to it. But I did pull from a clearance planner the October 2025 as well as October 2026 pages. I did cut off the tab just so that way it flowed a little bit better in the system. And what I'm going to do is right here in the monthly, use this for community events in my city. I don't have to attend them. I just like to have a record of the different holiday events that are occurring in my city. So I just write those things here. Of course, those tend to lean towards the weekends, so I'll decorate a little bit more towards the middle, and I don't know, just have fun with that. And then the weekly pages, I don't really know that I'm going to do anything with it. One thing that I did do in previous years was have kind of a Halloween week kind of plan. This is where Halloween's on Friday. So what that means to me, just thinking out loud, is that there's going to be, of course, trick-or-treating on Halloween itself, but probably the weekend before, the 25th, 26th, there's going to be a lot of like trunk or treats, things like that. So I'll probably use 2 weeks here, this week and this week, to do some like Halloween specific planning for, just like what's happening Halloween related. So that will be the plan there. I definitely love having my girls dress up and like do those types of things. The rest of the planner goes into like, costumes and all of those types of things. I might pull out some pages if I need to, like these kind of middle pages that I'm not using, and just move them there. But I also have in the back like kind of these random DIY pages, not DIY, but like just random pages, like scrapbook pages, things like that I can kind of pull to make pages as well for Halloween. So that's kind of my plan here. Is really the big emphasis is like this bookmark right here, going to be on the monthly community events for Halloween, and then those 2 weeks of weekly spreads for Halloween. So that is my Halloween planner. I'm so excited to have all of these planners. Now, if you were following along, that was 12 planners, and this is the last of it. There's no priority in my mind. The two that are the most important are going to be my personal catch-all and my work planner, but I like to play in all of them. So whether I'm consistent or not, that's up for debate. Definitely depends on time. All of the other planners, the other 10 that I went through, if I don't get to them, I don't get to them, but definitely want to be in my personal and my work planner. So let's bring everything back on screen so you can kind of see it all at one time again. I'm literally carrying like this giant stack. So it's a huge stack of planners. I'm going to turn it this way so you can kind of see it, kind of, sort of. Can't see it all on screen. But these are the planners that I went through. And again, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 planners that I went through. And so did I say 12? I probably said 12. So I definitely want to be consistent in several of them, but the others can kind of come and go as I need to. Definitely my personal and my work, I need to be in there all the time. So let's try to commit to that, I think is kind of my goal. So that is all. It was a lot to flip through, but hopefully it all made sense. I was able to explain hopefully everything that I use for October or plan to use for October. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video. Bye guys.